Well, thank you guys for jumping on and joining us today. And really what we want to talk about is the current market. So Keith and I, along with some slides, are going to have a conversation about what's going on in our market that we really want you guys to realize right now. Because you hear a lot of things on the news. We got a lot of things that are going on in our world. And yet I don't think the media, as we know, gives us the right information as it pertains to real estate. Right? And we got all sorts of different people in emotional state. I love the last week's team meeting because we saw two extremes of people emotionally and kind of how they went through the pandemic, not pertaining to real estate and yet pertaining to one is, I don't know what's going on. The government, we need to read more. To one of them is, I locked myself in the house for the first 30 days. And yet I loved it for us to show is, great, and yet how does real estate fit in all this? Because our job is to help people to buy and sell real estate and to move them forward. So anytime that we say the word shift, Keith, right? You're in Chicago in a shift, right? And when you think of a shift, your mind automatically goes back to when?
Oh man, 2008, 2009, 2010, it lasted a long time.
Yeah, and you were in Chicago, and what did the market look like there?
If you were selling anything, it was a short sale or a foreclosure.
Yeah.
And you became what they call the master of the market of the moment.
Yeah.
You had to learn, you had to really get into it and embrace it and go full steam with it.
Yeah. And here's what we want to go in this is, this time, this pandemic, this shift is not like 2007, 2008, 2009. And you got to get people to understand that. Or if we don't, then we might have a recession we have there. And this is me talking to top leaders and along the way. So Keith, what makes this time different?
It's so different. It's amazing. You have the health aspect of it, which that wasn't part of 2008, 2009. You have the layoffs that are coming, but then you have the shortage of inventory. So it's conflicting situations. So it's completely different. You can't say, oh, it's just like it is completely different. And you have to approach it that way with, to me, more aggressiveness and assuredness that I got to get out there and make it happen.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing I'll tell you what makes it different, right? In 2007, 8, 9, real estate was the cause of the recession, especially when it came to financing and real estate and over appreciation or overvalue of homes. And yet real estate is so super strong. I'm going to show you some slides that we want to resonate with people today on the uptick that we see in our office. Now, my biggest concern as a leader in the office is our top people are getting it. They're out there working and finding the opportunity. And yet we have some agents, right? Might not be the people on this call are throwing up their hands a little bit and going, I'll wait till this is over. And Keith, when you hear, hey, I'll wait for this is over, we come back, what would be your response to that?
You're missing out. It'll be too late. That's my response. Wait, it'll be too late. You got to get in now. People are calling. People want to make deals. And so it's right there at the door, at your doorstep. You got to open the door and step into it.
Totally agree. Okay, I'm going to jump in and share a screen. Let me know. Can you see that screen, Keith?
Got it.
Okay, here's a little background. So let's just go look at what's under contract. It's a great thing to see what's happening in our market. So this is Fort Bend County, right? And this is just looking over the last 6 months. And if this is not a glaring statistic of why we need to get into action and talk to people today, this is it. So you can tell when we started having a little bit, we were going good, right? In February, we had we were off to a record start. Then all of a sudden you saw in March, this is currently under contract. We got as low as consistently at 194. And then you can see the uptick in activities and property under contract in Fort Bend. So what you just said is opportunity doesn't go away. Opportunity goes to someone else. and got opportunity, meaning under contract, helping a family right now, is 453 properties that are under contract in Fort Bend. Those opportunities go to somewhere else. And we got to be talking to our sellers right now to let them know, look, activity is at a peak. We believe it is the best time to put your house on the market.
Exactly.
All right, what does that screen, what does that show you? This just blows me away when I look at it.
Well, what I've seen it watching Kelly's team operate, and like you say, in the heart of it in March, I mean, she was saying what's going on, and then all of a sudden, I think once we accepted, the market accepted, COVID-19 is here. We found at least ways to social distance ourselves and make things happen. That's when the buyers started, once they got comfortable with the situation, understanding what they had to do, they're chomping at the bit to get back out there. And so calls are coming in to go see homes, new homes, and even existing homes. So new home inventory is going to get tight, as you reported in your last couple of meetings. Existing inventory is going to get tight. So if you're a homeowner of an existing home right now, awesome time to come to the forefront with your house as another option for someone to buy. So it's incredible right now. If you're not out there working, you're missing the boat.
Yeah, certainly a lot of opportunity. So that was kind of Fort Bend County. Now, as we know, real estate can be area by area and impacted. And I could break this down and study all the way to a subdivision, or I can study a city, and you could tell you can get so much data that becomes a little, I don't know, time consuming as you look through it. And yet we got to know our numbers. We got to be the economist of choice. That's really critical. And this is the message. So let's just, I'm gonna open up another one, and let's just go look at some activities that we see that's going on. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise, and faster. That's why I put Keith on here as a buffer, so it didn't take me 10 years to share the screen and pull it up.
You're running circles on me.
Now we're gonna look at Missouri City. You go, that's just Fort Bend, right? Now we can look at a trend is we're seeing the property. Same exact story in Missouri City with the uptrend. And it got even lower at some point.
Right.
So same story, same message. And go, oh, Chad, that's not the story with all of them, right? And I'm just gonna keep sharing some of these screens because I want you guys to be really clear what's going on in our market. Right? This one I drew a little bit of a graph, but this is Sugar Land. Same story. The change that we saw very much a lull, and then the activity has just skyrocketed up.
Right.
And when that happens, when we get a lot of properties under contract, our listings are not coming on at the same pace.
Right.
We're going to run out of inventory. Anybody that's working new construction will certainly tell you the same piece as well. I'm sharing another screen. If I'm talking, Keith, you can be my filler as I walk through this a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure, and everybody's probably hearing the question, well, you know, buyers are thinking, well, what's going to happen with pricing? Is pricing going to go down? What you're showing right here is just the opposite. With inventory, with market activity shooting up, inventory getting tight, prices at best will hold where they are. That's if we're at best. But to expect a big dip, I don't see that happening. And like you said, we get the message out to our clients. Now is the time. Now is the time. We're doing our job. We're serving our purpose because both sellers and buyers need to be out there right now. And if we're going to do our job properly, we need to be on the phone with them, encouraging them.
Yeah. So this screen is a quarterly breakdown, Fort Bend County, right? And this is just looking quarters, because sometimes you can look at real estate over 30 days and it doesn't tell the right story. Okay, so let's look this over a 3-year piece, right? 3-year piece in Fort Bend. Now you can see we were really cranking kind of last year. You could see what we typically have available for sale. It's starting to rise, but not as much as what we're going to need is basically is our under contract, what it's coming at. It's the same speed. But you can tell, we're not, anybody that says, are we in a recession when it comes to real estate? Look at the line. No, we are not. That's the message we have to share. Is oil and gas going to impact families and what they need to do? Absolutely, it's going to impact them. And yet, if I have somebody who lost their job and they don't know if they can hold on to it or selling it, I say, put that on the market today.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
the inventory will increase. If there's a sense of urgency that I tell you right now, is we need more properties to list, priced right, right condition, right? Those are two key things. We believe those properties. So I'll tell you a story. So Lisa Easterfield, everybody, I mean, Lisa, everybody knows Lisa, right? Lisa contacted me and Terry. They had a listing and they listed our first property that Andy and I owned. It was in Quail Valley. We paid $89,000 for our first home. It was a great house on Hunter's Glen. So Lisa had contacted me and I missed her first message. And so we went over and looked at the home just for some sake. Bought that, I can't even tell you what year we bought that home. It's been a while, let's put it that way. Meaning we paid $89,000 for it and interest rates were 8.25%. We had friends that says, why would you put the interest rate on social media? What was that showing? I said, that's what the interest rates were. We actually paid for those interest rates to be that. We bought down the points. We were ecstatic. That property today is listed for $170,000, right? Somebody's going to get an interest rate in the low 3s for a 30-year fix, but they had 13 properties on that. 13 offers on that property. 13. Now, price matters, right? It was priced right. It was in good condition. It was at that lower pricing where we have an entry-level problem. That is not going away anytime soon. It's just not. The activity was great. Now, if you have a $750,000 home, I'm not telling you you're going to have 13 offers and have open houses off the charts. And yet, the demand is great. The interest rates today are so critical. And this is what we got to educate. Got to educate our buyers and sellers and clients of what's going on. Because there's a lot of noise out there.
I'd like to encourage everybody that called someone when we're in the height of this thing just getting started. All those sellers that once said, I'm thinking about it, I'm waiting, pull that list out. Now is the time to really hit that list hard and say, hey, listen, we seem to at least learn how to operate under the current situation. Let's get that house on the market. That's a gold mine. If you've kept that list or go back through again and call that database, anybody that told you I want to hold off, it's awesome right now. It's time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If you guys, anybody have any questions of what's going on in the market, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat. Anything that you're experiencing, right? Mark Burgess is on fire in the chat group this morning. Got to leave it to Mark, right? He said, no fear. Harvest time is now. I must have this report. Happy to send it to you. I'll send an email if you'd like. We'll actually put it on the KWSW25 report that we can really get into the evidence of what the activity is occurring as well. So if anybody has any questions, any comments of what they're seeing in the market, please don't hesitate to ask. Happy to break it down to you as well. And yet, if I study the market at the moment, I'm moving here. I go back to this book right here, right? I go back to the Shift book because there's slides in the Shift book that are just so powerful for a listing presentation. So here's my encouragement to you today. Encouragement is got to get there first. What does that mean is we got to talk to people first, and then we have to get there and we have to tell them the truth. In a shift, sometimes the truth is a little painful. Was it a little painful having some conversations in Chicago, 2008, 2009, 2010?
It was tough, but you know, they appreciate it. You know, you come in there and say, hey, this is what the market is. This is the situation. And these are the steps we need to take to get there. They understood. Let's do it. And so you got to have some internal fortitude, but you got to go and tell the truth and be knowledgeable, speak to the numbers, see where they're at, and you know your data, be confident in what you're presenting.
Yeah.
And if you show that confidence, they'll roll with you.
Yeah. And it was a little painful.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Very
I think some people in the industry don't understand is when a seller has to bring a check to closing to close on a property.
Yeah. I've
Bring a
done it
check to
myself.
sell your home, huh?
I've done it myself.
Okay. What was that like?
It was pretty bad because I had to call my father.
Okay.
So not good.
Yeah, and I think that's what people need to realize in this right now. At our current moment, right, we are not in that state because more people own their house outright across the country than ever before, and there's not as many people are upside down.
Right.
Now, do we believe that the foreclosure short sale is going to increase? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Right? And a tricky one to get into is it's going to be interesting when we look at it as far as reverse mortgages. Because some people pull some money out. There's going to be an uptick when it comes to some of those, when it comes to property being taken over by the bank as well. But we're going to see some people in a little bit of pain. And you might come to somebody that has equity in their home, and yet they need to sell, and they need to sell fast.
Exactly.
That's where pricing it right is so critical. All right, here's another resource I want to go to, right? Let me make sure I got this going here. And I want to go to a link that I really like. I don't know if people are there. And it's Keller Inc. On the Keller Inc., there's all sorts of resources, and yet there's some free resources that you can get to. So in there is the Shift book. And it has these slides that I think are this is a free resource for you. And it really is helping people with the market, right? And there's opportunity for everyone at any point of these. But each one of these has a great slide for you to look at. And I would include the one that you have to in your presentation, especially if you're doing it virtually or in front of them, why it's so critical to educate our people on where we are and pricing our home correctly in the market that we have today. So it's Keller Inc. In here. You can download any of these links, right? It'll tell us how to shift to overpricing. Great slides for us to look at and use. Creates a powerful conversation. Visuals are so critical along the way for us to look at. Okay. So let me ask what the website is. Keller Inc. I'll put it in here. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is one of the team meetings today where we're making this a little informer. Keith and I are having conversations and sharing you where links would be today. So kellerinc.com has resources on the Shift book. Yet our message is not a recession message. We're out of it. We need inventory. As an office, we're not taking on enough listings. And if we have a listing that's not selling today, right? Selling today is because of it's not priced right or in a condition. And price will always improve anything. Somebody's not willing to get their property where it needs to go, then we need to get it in the right condition. So I had a neighbor who was going down to the water, the beach. He's got a family member and he's thinking about buying a second home. And he calls an agent, it wasn't Galveston, might have been Jabanka Beach. And some people might be more familiar with this, but he calls a real estate agent. She goes, no, we have people that are buying up second homes right now incredibly fast. And he goes, nah, that's not true. And I had to tell him, no, it is true. Because people are using some of that discretionary income to go and buy an investment property based on some of the interest rates and things they can do today. And they're saying, well, I'm not using my vacation money. I'm not going to go get on a cruise. Anybody going to sign up for a cruise anytime soon? Right? And they're buying these second homes because they're using that income going, no, we want a place to get away to day reach. And they're just putting that income to it. Or some of them are using it to go on the Airbnb. I was reading a some research that we studied that was very interested on people's patterns and what they feel comfortable with, especially when it comes to vacations. And here's what they discovered. People are willing to get in their car and go for a drive to get away. And they're going to want to get away this summer, right? So they're willing to go to a drive and go stay in an Airbnb or a second home in one of those, which is very true. Some more, they go, I'll get on a plane if it's a family, a wedding, or something really critical, but the comfort level went way down. And the one dead industry is nobody said, I'm getting on a cruise ship anytime soon. Now, I tell you that is the cruise industry, especially out of Galveston, is a huge industry in money. So if that's not an industry that's going to be, they're not going to have success anytime soon, where does that money go? Right? I believe people are going to be using it on second homes that are a place for them to escape with their family and to get away a little bit. Another opportunity as well. So anything along the coast would be it. I think second home and opportunities that we see in different parts, the hill country look like that, will be an opportunity as well. So I'm seeing a lot of upside.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome time. You just got to get out there and jump in there. One thing you said just before you got into the cruise talk, as you meet these sellers, you're going to meet them at various places on the spectrum. Some will be able to make improvements on the house. Some you'll be able to work some negotiation deals to have some people do some work and they get their money on the back end at closing. Then you got to recognize those clients that don't have the resources to do anything, and the houses need work, but you have to meet them where they are and price it accordingly, and they're still going to sell. I just saw a house, it needed a lot of work, went out there, made a slight change in pricing, under contract within a week. So you just got to meet the people where they are, listen, meet the need, use your expertise and knowledge to get them what they need, the right price, the right situation, the right contractors, but meet them where they are and give them what they need, not what don't prescribe. Listen to what they need, then bring out your guns.
All right, so me just talking about it, let me show you what let me show you on travel and why does that impact? Part of this is I'm looking at second home opportunities, right? I'm looking at discretionary income that people still have. And it just kind of tells you what it looks like and the way people would travel along the way. So assuming all orders were lifted, people were free to, how soon would you travel, right? This would be a flight. How soon, people are not going to Europe anytime soon. Ooh, what are they doing with that income? A lot of people in Houston travel to Europe. I'm not going to Europe anytime soon. Assuming all stay-in orders are lifted, people are free to travel again. How soon would you take a trip to Asia? Not going to happen anytime soon. I really want to go see the Great Wall of China. It is on my list to go see. If somebody else would do that, some of you might have already seen it. Not doing that in anytime soon. Here's the Cabo Caribbean. How fast would they do it? Look at all these people that are waiting on a vaccine and really want to die down before they do any travel. How soon would you take a cruise? Never. My fear on a cruise is not that I would get the virus on it, is that they would put me in lockdown and I'd have to stay on it for 2 weeks and confined in my room. I'd go nuts. Right? Look at this. How quickly would people drive away in a driving distance? This is why the demand of the second home property is really big. And you say, well, how do I take advantage of it? And you show a slide like this and saying, hey, this is an opportunity based on interest rates and where you are. If you have the discretionary income, to look at a second home. Have you ever given that any thought? Well, you're like, Chad, I don't want to go to the coast. I don't want to do that. Then we partner and we create a referral opportunity.
Right.
Oh, this is interesting. Assuming all the stay-at-home orders are lifted by June, people are free to travel again. How soon would you go to a conference or a festival? People ask me all the time, are we going to have mega agent camp? Research is not looking good for that. Here's one, assuming they're good, how soon would you go to a crowded restaurant? 27% of the population said I'd go today.
Wow.
or by July 15th, pretty quick. By the end of August, look at how many people would be, over half of people would have no problem going to a crowded restaurant.
Right.
How about a concert? Sporting event? Fascinating. We'll put this on the KWSW 25. But really, and you said, what does that have to do with real estate? Is I think the second home. I mean, would you be more comfortable staying in a villa, hotel, rental, hotel, or neither? And look at that, over half of people, a villa, home, rental. Man, I'm telling you, those Airbnbs and things that are within driving distance is going to be such an opportunity.
Right.
Just looking at data, right? What is it telling us? Just an interesting supply and demand. As a lot of you know, some of you might have known, I drove to Colorado. My dad's health wasn't great, and he said, hey, I'd rather come see me. He wasn't concerned about it. They're already social distance because they live on a farm. And that I drove straight there when I was going to Colorado. It's an 18-hour trip, but on the way back, I didn't have another driver. I had 2 young kids in my car, so I had to stop in the hotel. Stopped at a Marriott. It was super clean. I didn't have any concerns. The room was like $70. It was a good price. They had it all clean and doing it. I was able to, I was okay with that. It was important to me. And yet I was able to do that. And I share that with you, not because of my perspective, is how people are looking at travel and going places. Anyways, a lot of great slides along the way. The reason I share that to you is we'll put that on the KWSW piece, and it's something that you can look at. What's some takeaways when you see that information, Keith?
Well, I guess, like you said, I think as people get more acclimated in what they need to do, they're going to start, people want to get out. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So driving distance, everybody's going to be willing to jump in their car probably by late June or July to go somewhere. And like you said, it's going to be a great opportunity for anybody that could take advantage of the secondary home or the Airbnb. But right now it's a new normal. And as we learn to get used, operate in this, people will want to get back out there and do things. So enjoy their family, leisure, and buy and sell real estate. So we have to lead the charge.
Yeah. Real estate. All right. So I'm on this call where I'm listening to all this information, and we want to create a strategic action plan that we could do. What would be the first step?
I would take some of that data and start reaching out to my database, give them a call and just say, hey, did you know? And I can share this with you, visit my website, or I can email it directly to you. Quick postcard, a couple quick ideas to use this. That's a great information that can be quickly transferred and put into action right now today.
Yeah, it's evidence, right? It's being able to talk a language that people would appreciate and study, and getting their thoughts and comments on the right time. And that's the piece is we need more evidence, right? Everybody, and we got it. You can get on the media, right? We can go to one extreme to another. And my job in this is not to go, you're crazy and you're not, and I have my own personal views. And yet, how do you feel about it? How does real estate fit into this that we could serve you at a high level? So these slides, I'm going to post them on the KWSW 25. There'll be a resource for you to look at. Right? It tells a story, and it's just a conversation story. So if it's sending it to your sphere in your database and then following up with a conversation and going, hey, I sent you that survey. I'm curious what your thoughts on it. Hey, what we're noticing is that people will drive to stay at a villa, rental property, an Airbnb. I'm just curious, have you ever thought about investing in a property?
Yeah, just that one slide about the different, what are your thoughts on this and that? You put that on your social media, the feedback you'll get, or you sent it through command.
Yeah.
You put it in command and sent that out through command to your database. You got an instant conversation starter.
Yeah, and it's evidence. Now, if you go to is, hey, I'm thinking about buying or selling and what it looks like, the evidence is, hey, real estate right now is going strong. Our major need is that we're gobbling up inventory and we need more properties for sale. And that is a true statement. Now, could be different in your specific area. Remember, I'm giving a wide view, just like we can't look at all of HAR and we can't look at all of Fort Bend, or you can't look at all of Missouri City, because there's different pockets. Real estate is neighborhood by neighborhood. So you have to get the neighborhood for their information. But all of Fort Bend or all of Sugar Land, all of Missouri City and Richmond is going to tell us enough of it to get the conversation started. Why we believe that if you're thinking about selling your home, that you need to do it today.
Right.
We just kind of pushed the selling season a little late. That demand and that need was still there. It's still on an uptick.
Right.
Here's another oil and gas, right? Now, this is not all, everything's great. Don't worry about it. So I have a good friend who's an executive in an oil and gas. He got laid off. And he says, what he's being told is that jobs will not come back on the market in his arena, or his company and other companies are not going to rehire until the end of next year. So these people that lost your job are not going back really, really quick. So that's going to create a real estate need, because people move because they're going through a life transition, and losing a job is a life transition. So it's such an interesting thing. We got these interest rates. We have the demand for buyers. We have a need. We have people going through some life transitions, and yet real estate's fitting in. And so I hope you share the message is real estate is strong. All right. This is not 2007, 8, 9. We're not living in Chicago, right? Or Florida or Arizona and California, where they had those huge drops. Houston real estate is really solid. We could believe it's really going to continue to go that way as well. It's just, I don't believe we're talking to enough people and telling that story. And that was my objective with this meeting. Anything you would add to it before we jump on with our panel?
I'm right there with you. It's not the same. It's not gloom and doom. And I've seen gloom and doom where I had attorneys on speed dial for short sales. I don't want to go back to that. I'm talking a whole nother language. Let's try and get something done right now. And if you are seeing hard times coming, let's not wait. Let's take action now. Let's get ahead of it so that you can be better off and have more choices down the line. So like you said, we got to communicate and push the message. We're here to help. The market is strong. Whatever your situation, I can get you through it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Before we jump into it, last time is, let's just really keep pushing the message. And I think it's kind of an obligatory thing, right? Got to share the message strong, and we got to make sure. All right, let me check and see who we got waiting in our group to get them going and get started. Hold on just a second. I don't know where they went. All right, when I'm getting them started, any other message you got to share? Bear with us a little bit. Got some other information we want to share with you again. You're my filler. You're like my music.
What can I say? I think I'm seeing calls come in to various people. I'm seeing some of the newer agents out there getting deals, and I'm excited about that. People that came on earlier in the year, went through bowling that way, were frustrated. I'm seeing a couple people tell me, hey, I got a closing coming in. So if the brand newbies can do it, all of us should be out there doing it. So that is good news.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the cool thing about it is, right, we're going to look up in 3 years, and one of the top producers is from an agent who joined our company in the first quarter and just did all the activity to get us started. All right, let's jump into it a little bit and give us a little bit. Man, James, you're looking really cool. You got all the arches kind of sitting back. Well, give us an update and tell us what's going on in the mortgage world.
Hey, Chad. Well, it's been an interesting few weeks. The good thing, and I'll be real short and quick here. So the government loans, FHA, VA, USDA, they're up 5% just in the last 6 weeks, 5% from a year ago. So that's good news. Obviously, from the past 2 months, just the last few weeks, like this, the purchase applications have gone up tremendously. Average 30-year fix is actually now at about 3.24, which is just crazy right now. I know you probably went over some of this, Chad, so I'm probably being redundant.
No, keep going. I don't think we can say it enough. You're saying that interest rates at a historical rates.
It is. And I think sometimes because we're in the business, like people just glaze over this. Chat. This is a big deal. Like, this is a time for all of us right now. We should be like letting everybody know. It's just a great time. So, and I know you already talked about this, but I want to reiterate it.
Yeah.
It's so easy for us to just gloss over because we hear it all the time. It's a big deal. So, so we should all be really busy in this next few months. So we missed, pretty much that spring season. It went away for a little chunk of what would we normally do in the springtime. We're gonna make up for it. The summertime is going to be crazy for all of us, I believe. Mortgage refinances. I'm going to tell you guys this. So refinances has gone up, 17-year high on refinances. Now I'm bringing this up because you guys that are writing purchase agreements or you've got sellers, I'm only saying this because appraisers are going to be swamped.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're making these offers.
Yeah.
Because so many people are refinancing right now. It is, again, we're at a 17-year low on refinances. So it's crazy right now. One other thing to mention, DTI and credit scores. So we've had some of the DPA programs come back, which is great. Just keep in mind that the way DPA was before is not the way it's going to be moving forward, at least right now anyway. So you can't have low credit scores, high DTI. It just won't work. It will not work. But I just to give you guys an example, like I just approved one yesterday. The guy's at a 602. I got an approval, but mainly because it's got really low DTI. So, I know people are hearing credit scoring, it's got to be 640. Not the case. Like it would be helpful if you're at a 640, but it doesn't mean we can't do it. So I just did a 602, but the guy's got really low DTI. So we're in a good place. We're slowly working our way back. And yeah, it's going to be a great summer for all of us. I really believe that. And so, yeah, we're here to be a resource for you guys. And I'm here. So if I can help with anything, let me know. But it's going to be a great summer.
When you say DTI, first off, what does that mean? I don't want everybody to understand that.
Yeah,
and when you say it's really good, what does that mean?
Okay, so debt to income ratio. So typically on an FHA loan, there's going to be way more leeway with FHA, first of all. I mean, we can go up to 50% DTI, sometimes higher than that. But when you have a lower credit score, so this particular person was at a 602, we can't go to 50% DTI and a 602. That combination is not going to work. The only way this works is because, yes, he's got a low credit score, but his debt to income ratio was under 40%. That's the only way it works. So you can't have a bad combination of low credit score and DTI at 50. It will not work. So I just say that because I know people are hearing you got to have a 640. You don't have to have a 640. Does it help the buyer? Absolutely it does. But if you're at a lower credit score, we can still probably make it work if they've got low DTI, low debt to income ratio. So don't let that 640 throw you off to think that it has to be 640. Because quite honestly, I was shocked that I got an approval on a 602. But it worked. FHA loan, 602, it worked. Low DTI is the key. So,
okay. All right. Okay, good information. The one thing I heard James said that we need to reiterate is we're going to get a backlog when it comes to appraisals and getting those things in. So
Absolutely.
Let's make sure we plan. Let's bulletproof the deal, and we really understand what we're getting into so we don't get all excited and we didn't know that was coming. All right. What's going on in the title business?
There I am. I always forget where the unmute is. Couple of things. Number one, I want everybody to notice that when either Chad or Keith drinks water, I drink water. It's like a little domino effect here. Like we all seem to drink water at the same time. I don't know if anybody noticed.
You don't even know what's in
I noticed that. Here's mine. There you go.
Water.
Mm.
No, it's water.
It's good for you. I noticed that when Keith did it. Keith did it, Chad did it, and I did. I said, oh, we're all on a little domino effect. So a couple of things. It's a change that affects the back end for us. It's going to be something that's not going to necessarily, as Celebrity Title, we generally don't have this as a problem, but there are other title companies that might. So there was actually a commissioner bulletin put out that Greg Abbott put out for simultaneous policies. So normally we have 90 days in order to get the loan policy and the title policy put out. And if after that, we get charged a fine. So at this point, Greg Abbott has extended that. So because recognizing that maybe the loans aren't processing as fast as they were doing before. As James has said, sometimes there's a little problem on the back end, and maybe those policies aren't getting put out by the title company as quickly as they should be. He's giving us an extension so that there won't be any fines or fees to the title company or to the client. So just to let y'all know, you probably won't ever experience this if you come to Celebrity Title. We haven't had that. I've checked with all of our underwriters just to see how often we've had that problem. And it generally is going to be for your problem clients. So it does sound like, based on what James is talking about, those problem clients probably aren't closing anyway, the ones that are having issues with credit, but those are the ones that would be primarily affected by this. And so the extension does help us in title, give you an opportunity so that we don't have fines and we don't push those out to you. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, how do I say this politely? I know you guys are all great. Title companies are not brokers. As you all know, option periods require option period payments. With that being said, title companies, as much as you love to offer us to have your option period checks dropped off with the earnest money check, we are not the brokers and we're not a selling agent. So when you do that, what ends up happening is the buyer believes that they've paid their option period fee. Guess what? They haven't. They haven't paid their option period fee until it's in the hands of the selling agent or the seller. So we just want to make sure that currently Celebrity Titles had a little bit of a pushback on some of the agents who don't understand why we can't collect those funds for them anymore. And primarily it's because we don't want to put ourselves in a position where there's a check that's not delivered in a timely manner. We all know that there's a time frame that has to be done in order for that option period to be valid. And if we don't have the opportunity, meaning like my salesperson can't get to you, the receptionist forgets to call you, whatever the situation might be, we don't want to have ourselves liable for that, because at that point, as a buyer, you're not within an option period because you haven't paid for it. So I just want to make sure that I put that out there. So if you're using another title company who's willing to collect those funds for you, you might want to consider that as something that could happen, because I've recently come across, not with us, but with someone that it backfired and the option period fee wasn't delivered properly. And then they had a lawsuit because of that. So I just want to make sure that
we're in agreement with that, right?
Yes.
The title company is not the broker.
We are not the broker.
The seller or the listing agent as well. And to
Right.
put that on a note is we have people that drop off option checks here and we don't receipt it until we make communication with you, because even when it's outside of the period and we sign for it, we accept it. So if you have an option check being delivered to the office and you want us to sign for it, receipt it is, let us know, be proactive that it's coming.
Right.
That way we know to accept it and it's within an acceptable period.
I'm actually mentioning this too because there is something that we use at Celebrity Title as part of our technology piece that we push out. And I think it's been mentioned, I'm not sure, Chad, correct me if I'm wrong. It's called Option Pay. It's an online website. Did we have that information pushed out to you guys by any chance in the last few months? Option Pay?
I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean you haven't.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. It's an online website that it's very similar to our ZocAmap, if you've ever used our ZocAmap, where you're able to transfer funds. It is an online website that the seller and the buyer do have to communicate with each other in. So basically, it's the same concept, similar to Venmo, if you're going to Venmo funds over. So what will happen is there is a per transaction fee. You can either set that up, it's $5, I believe, or you can do, if you're a buyer's agent, you do a lot of transactions, you might want to go ahead and continue and consider the annual fee. And at that point, what'll happen is you establish an account, put in the address, link all the information that you need for the seller's agent, and you send that over. So I'm going to actually, I think I have it up. I'm going to put the link, if I can copy that. I'm going to copy it onto the chat right now, so you guys have access to that. But it is an option to use instead of doing the title company.
Okay.
Just
all right.
That you guys have that information.
Yep. Okay. Very good. All right, Nimesh, what do we got for us?
Hey, what's going on? All right, not too much on the new front, but I will let you in on some live things now. There is a new widget on the Facebook, I apologize, on the command home screen, there is a new widget called the Playbook. And what that is it's actually posting different videos. You'll see Gary Keller on there, some other videos, whether it's training or just some kind of shift mastermind stuff, mindset stuff. It's going to be down there on your home screen. Okay, so look out for that. It's called the Playbook. It's already there. Okay, the on-air feature, segueing from the videos, is also live. So now you will see a little on-air, it's technically a button, I guess, at the very top. Whenever you see that come on, don't fret. That doesn't mean your camera is on. That means that there is a live training going on at KW Connect. And if you're interested in seeing what it's all about, just click on that on-air button and it will take you to KW Connect. Okay, so you can join in right then. And that is also live already. And again, featured listings is also live. So just note that you can go in and set up a featured listings, up to 12 listings, whether it's on your website or on the app, on your version of the app. Just note that it's a manual feature. Okay, so once you set those listings, it is on you to, one, remove them if they've sold, or to apply new ones. Okay, so just note that. All right, so those were the big things on that. I do want to get into a little bit of the reminder of the ad promo that you, Chad, have extended until at least.
So if you have a closing in June and July and haven't spent $200, I'm giving you free money. If you have a closing already in the books in June and July that's going to close and you haven't spent $200 on command, I don't know why.
You're right. There, you summed it up beautifully right there. Unless you're planning on, I don't know, maybe another extension. You guys have another 4 days.
It'll be something different. I already extended it once. It ain't happening.
Okay. All right. I hear you. All right. We'll do something new. Okay. We'll do something new. But so you got 4 days. If you guys already have a scheduled closing in the next 2 months, I would get that ad running. You got another 4 days. Okay. There will be a training video post.
It's your job at your closing to notify the MCA department. I don't know how to keep track of it. I can't go trace you down. And we're asking you to notify us in those days, not come December and say, hey, I didn't get my money back.
Right.
That's just a promo to really get you in there as well. Hey, Nimesh, how's your personal business going?
It's yeah, you've kind of not seen me around a little bit, not too many Facebook Lives. It's actually going pretty well. The market is on fire, that is for sure. James alluded to even in the chat here on the ridiculous interest rates. Buyers are out there left and right. By mid-June, I should have 5 listings on the market in the last 4 weeks or so. And buyers out there are going under contract left and right. So definitely out there, take advantage of that. It does help me out quite a bit that, it's a seamless process in command. You like that segue, Chad?
Yes.
And really what I want to put you on the spot for that hopefully we can talk about right now is as a group, our market center stats regarding command adoption. Okay, we were doing great at the beginning of the year. In fact, I think I let everybody know that we were, I think, ranked 2nd in the region as far as with command growth. And in this quarantine time period, I thought, we were really stressing that this is a great time to take advantage of the full-on adoption. And honestly, our numbers have slipped quite a bit. They've become pretty stagnant, and I'm really surprised at that. And we have to figure out why and get everybody on board because, we're about to come full circle. Compliance is right around the corner where we'll be able to streamline absolutely everything, within command. And so, we got to get those contacts in there, the contacts and database, get it all sorted because it all begins and ends there with your database, right? And also after that, you have your opportunities. You can track your entire business right there in command. It's greatly, the visuals are amazing. It's very organized. Once you have it all set up, it's a great system from beginning to end of your transaction. That's your sales pipeline. We have a handful of agents that are doing great business and that have come to me even for command training that I'm just seeing that the numbers are not matching up. Okay. And then, so we really want to, I'm here, Norman is here. We're all here to help you transition into that. The next one is smart plans. It's a great way for you to be hands-free, grow your business, yet all your information is getting out there. Your clients or your leads are getting automated information. It's what we used to know as drip campaigns. They've come a long way. You can manually create some now yourself if you don't like the ones that are already there. And right down the road is trigger events, which will make it 100% hands-free. So now, those are the three aspects that we really need to grow in as a group here, as the entire market center. And so speaking of that, I'm going to go over all three of these aspects in the next 3 training segments. Okay. So tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, I'm going to go over contacts and database. All right. The next Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning, we'll move on to then opportunities and how, sales pipeline and how to work that and how to organize that. And then the following Thursday, we'll cover smart plans at 9:30. Okay. You want to chime in a little bit, Chad, on what you've seen some of those reports now. So
well, here's the one thing. Here's the one thing that we know, and we just did a survey on this of agents that had a transaction in the last 60 days, either close, under contract, and or taken a listing. And the database, I mean, and 90% of the business that's being written today is coming from the Sphere referrals from their database. I mean, that's the formula. That's the game plan. And yet what you're telling us, we don't have people putting in contacts in database and putting them on, right? The neighborhood watches and looks, and it's just an easy step. So evidence is telling that's where I'm going to get business from my database and setting this up. I don't know why we wouldn't have 100 people at that class. Is it exciting? No, it's boring. Let's just call it what it is. It's boring, man. And success is boring. So, but we got to do the work. What did Keith and I keep telling you is our top people are out there working and they're going to have a great summer. But if you're not doing the work, I don't know what's going to happen to you. And I keep yelling that. So that's the piece. The opportunity sales pipeline, fantastic tool, right? The smart plan, just set it up and just work on it. It matters, and that's where we're going to build a big business. So I appreciate you throwing that in there and making sure that we have that available.
It's really important. I was really, we got questioned on, like, we have all this training stuff and why haven't we seen the growth? And it's true. I was thinking the exact same.
It's engagement. We got to look. And if you haven't, it's not to beat you up. Jump back into it again and just make a step. Even if it's just 20 contacts in your database, if it's 100, start somewhere and start it off really solid. It'll pay off, I promise. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Office. All right. What do we got?
One more thing real quick.
Yes,
I just want to share about the story. It's actually really neat. I should have brought it up. It was about the whole ads. There was a great testimonial, during a recent ads, campaigns class. It was by Sharon Parker. She had a couple of, and I know she spoke at team meeting or made a video about it or something, but I just want to reiterate it because she brought it up recently. She had a couple of listings that were sitting because, people were scared with the virus and whatnot to come in. Sellers were living there. And she almost directly correlates the under contract of those homes with getting the word out there using the ad campaigns and attracting either other agents to the listing or buyers to the listing that let their agents know. And she got multiple ones under contract, and she kind of associates that with the help of those ad campaigns.
Yeah.
So it could work for you.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Reliant.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got for us? And nothing. She went away a little bit. Oh, there you are.
I've been working with Reliant for 8 years. Now this week I'm kind of feeling I'm falling behind. So I need your help.
Okay.
So before my main market was the Chinese. Now because the coronavirus, they cannot come to this country to study or to work, and not the many rich people, they cannot get their money out buying house. So my market is gone because there's a virus. So, I mean, my team member is doing the normal business. I'm way behind them because most of them have like 10 to 15 office. I only have one office, Cali Southwest office. So I cannot compete with them. That is why I'm asking for your help. please help me do some referral. I mean, your friend, your coworker, your family, your client. So help me so I can stay in Kelly Williams office, okay? If I don't get enough sale, I'll be in trouble.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's a guilt trip to send you. And you can save money along the way. All right. Here's one last thing. I want to share a slide with you guys to make sure that we are, I didn't mean to click there. Hold on. Bear with me a little bit as I get to where I want to go.
Chad, while you're doing that, can I just mention one thing?
Yeah.
I know that the Harris County extension to June 10th is in place for the stay-at-home work orders. And as long as those stay-at-home orders are in place, Celebrity Title will be extending the e-notarization fee. So whenever the extension happens, we'll extend the e-notarization fee. So the fees are waived. So I just thought about that when we were talking about it. I'll send out a flyer so that you guys are fully aware, but anytime there's an extension of anything, the e-notarization fees will be extended. So I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, one last thing before we go, don't jump off yet, is one is two things that we did well. We showed up in a big day at Red Day. That was fantastic as a culture of giving back. Our blood drive, Norman was able to fill that up as well. And we're close to hitting a goal and here at Keller Williams when it comes to giving back and helping one of our own. So if you haven't seen Ethan Lynn's fundraiser, David, his family is doing it. Let's hit our goal of 5,000. We're just right there. If you hadn't had an opportunity to give, please take that under consideration and help a little bit, whatever you can. Appreciate the people who've already jumped on there and support him as well, but we can hit our goal. We're really close. And thank you guys for giving back in a good way. Norman didn't have any trouble filling up the blood drive and the coaching and getting out there and filling that up. Red Day was a great success as well. I know you guys show up in a big way. So I just want to thank you for that. And if you need more information, you can follow up with Carla. All right. That's all I got for you today, right? We'll put some of that flyers and different things on the kwsw25.com. If you got a closing coming up, I got free money for you that you'll get right back. So go use Command. Database matters. You got evidence. Let's go out and make it a really great summer. We're here to help you along the way and appreciate the opportunity to be in business with all of you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
See everyone.